Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chat from a Hat. I'm your host, Josh Brown, along with my co-host,
Caleb Luther.
Caleb. How are you?
I'm good.
This is our second time doing this now.
I am good, Josh. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Can't complain.
I'm reading from a script.
Reading from a cue card. Caleb.
Well, at least we don't have to re-record an entire episode like we did a couple weeks ago, which was just hell.
Don't say that yet.
Yeah.
Don't say that yet.
That's true.
Caleb. What's been going on? What's been going on in the life of Mr. Luther?
Well, I've recently started a medication for the first time in my life for anxiety. I've had it my whole life, but I'm just now doing something about it. It's been good. I'm on Celexa.
Not Cialis, right?
Which is apparently good for it's an SSRI. I forgot what those letters stand for, but he didn't
get my joke.
I didn't.
Okay.
What'd you say?
I said it's not Cialis, is it?
No, Josh.
Okay.
It's not. It's Celexa.
Okay.
And
Caleb doesn't even know what Cialis does.
No serious side effects. So, just a little bit of drowsiness, but it's going well. Hope to see some good results of that.
I can't wait to get canceled for my Cialis joke because I'm poking fun at the mental health people.
What is Cialis?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cialis is an erectile dysfunction drug.
Oh, Josh, you've done it now.
I've done it. Cancel me. I don't give a crap anymore.
You have done it now.
Cancel me.
But yeah, on medication for the first time in my life. It was needed, but I just never pulled the trigger.
Well, you know what, Caleb? I'm glad that you are on medication because you and I both take mental health very, very seriously. And I'm glad that you took that leap and went and got.
I made a TikTok about it because I went on TikTok and saw that when it comes to this particular medication, it's all just like women that have talked about it. Like no men. Is men just like not talk about their mental health?
Because it's a stigma, man. You gotta be a man.
But I made and all the comments were positive except for like a couple that said like that stuff doesn't work. Here's what helps: exercise and diet. And
that's not.
And they're literally talking to the wrong person because I have done exercise and diet my whole life. Yep. I exercise every day, and undoubtedly good for you. And especially on the spot during maybe a panic attack, it's really good. Mm-hmm. It does not help the overarching anxiety from day to day. It does not help that. So that is not true. Whenever people say nope, only exercise is the only thing that helps. No, I'm going to continue to do exercise because it's good for my mind and my body, but. It's not the only thing. Sometimes you need a little bit of extra help.
The diet and exercise thing is bullcrap. I'll go ahead and tell you that right now. Yeah. It might help some people. It doesn't help everybody.
If you jog and stuff like that, you are going to feel good about yourself. But it's not gonna change the fact that I'm terrified of picking up the phone and calling someone. It's not gonna help me get over fear of driving.
It's not gonna help your existential dread.
It's not gonna help that stuff. It's gonna help like small anxiety that. Mm-hmm. I think that's what people think that anxiety is, just small moments.
No.
It's a thing that happens every waking moment of your life.
Yes, agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Moving on.
Well,
I did go to Columbus this
I was going to say, moving on, you went to Columbus this weekend as well. So,
Columbus
how
Zoo.
was that?
It was my first zoo I've been to in 14 years. It was pretty good. Weather wasn't bad. Just got a slight burn on my nose. It's probably not even noticeable now. But
it's not.
Saw some cool animals. Obviously, the main attraction for me is always the gorillas, any kind of monkeys. Orangutan, could have took a picture of orangutan, didn't. It was too sad. It was just too sad. Because the orangutan was looking out the glass, and it just looked sad. And I was like, this is too sad to take a picture of. Those things are just so smart. And I'm just like, man, I guess I understand maybe why they need to be in there, but it's still sad to see a super smart animal like that. But other than that, pretty good.
You saw the manatees. That was nice.
The manatees are cool.
Manatees are always cool.
Those are cool. They just eat lettuce and cabbage or whatever's floating on top of the water.
Kale.
Okay, I'm done talking about the zoo. No, I will say the zoo was connected to a water park, and I didn't really know that till we got there, and that looked a lot cooler than the zoo. I wish I could have done that. I just love a good water slide, Love a good water slide.
You were going to tell a story about Bob Evans, and I told you to save it.
Yeah. We went to Bob Evans of all places because we just kept passing up restaurants because nothing seemed good. But when we got to Rio Grande, which is where Bob Evans farms are, so we're like, we know if there's a Bob Evans to stop at, it's this.
It's got to be good.
So they closed it at 8 p.m. on
Okay.
Saturdays. We went in at 7:30.
Oh no, no!
We did. We went in at 7:30, and
You're one of those people.
I was like, oh god. Okay, so I was like, here's what I'm gonna do. My food's gonna cost $10. I'm gonna tip them that exact money.
And you know what? That's exactly what you should do.
I tipped them $10, and yeah, I made sure to tip good. They still, I suspect that they get people coming in 30 minutes before closing.
Sure.
We were out of there at 8:10.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
I still felt kind of bad, so I was like, I'm still going to tip. And honestly, she fully deserved that tip. Like,
yes.
It was great. Like, the staff was great. The food, is probably better than most Bob Evans that you go to because it is where the Bob Evans farm is.
Did you make a big deal about your ranch dipping sauce?
I didn't get that. I got a grilled chicken sandwich, so no.
Did you make a big deal about your ketchup?
I didn't make a big deal about anything because I never do that.
Good boy. Good boy.
I just go in and let the surfers do their thing. I don't bother them with anything.
They do their thing in their khaki pants, and then that's,
yeah.
Good. I'm glad that you weren't a complete and utter a-hole.
Yeah, never. I would.
Parental advisory now on the episode.
What'd you do?
What did I do? Well, over the weekend I went to. I got away from the Freedom Festival.
Yes.
Got away from that. Thank God, because
which takes place in Logan,
which takes place where we live, and unfortunately, where I live is right in the heart of the whole dang thing, and it is the loudest, most obnoxious thing, and it's not necessarily anybody's fault other than one certain person. And the fact that here's the thing. We're talking about Freedom Festival for a minute. Let's talk about Freedom Festival. We're going to shoot on Freedom Festival. Freedom Festival is fine and dandy. I don't mind Freedom Festival. I hate living in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Okay, Freedom Festival is
once
fine
a year, but still,
it is. Well, the problem is it gets longer every year.
And it starts earlier. Every year.
Earlier every year, and I'm just like, folks, 5 days is enough. 6 days, too much. 7 days, what are you doing?
Was it 5 days?
It was 5 days this year.
Tuesday to Saturday?
Tuesday through Saturday.
I got some food
it's just
down
too
there.
much.
I went down there because I work in town. So where I work out in town is not where the Freedom Festival is necessarily. So I had to walk a little bit. But I got food at a couple of vendors. Both food was good.
Yeah.
Incredibly overpriced.
Oh, absolutely.
Though. Holy cow.
Absolutely.
$10 for chicken tenders.
Listen, I don't have a problem. I seriously don't have a problem with the actual festival. I don't have a problem with the festival.
It's certainly a good thing for
it's
the
a
community.
good thing for the community. Sure, it's fine. It's wonderful. My problem is there's hardly anywhere for residents to park in our town whenever.
Hey, that's the case anyways.
We have
right?
it.
Even without a Freedom Festival.
Even without Freedom Festival, there's still nowhere to park in the town of Logan. And on top of that, it's the fact of it's just so dang loud. And that's other than that, it's fine. But the good thing I will say about Freedom Festival is that Stevie Trent, the guy that does the sound and everything like that, he keeps the bands and things on a curfew, and they are done by 10:30 every night.
That's good.
And good for Stevie on that. So Stevie, if you're listening, good on you, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Freedom Festival's fine. It is what it is. It's way too dang long.
Yeah.
But
we really shot on Freedom Festival.
We shot on Freedom Festival so hard.
Jeez.
It's in flames right now. Is how bad it's on fire. But anyway, Caleb, this week we are. Wait, was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
Going to see Taylor Swift this weekend. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
but by the time that this
not me clearly.
By the time he would have though
if I got a free ticket, maybe. Sure. Why not? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I did get a free ticket, so. Because my wife paid for the tickets. I sure wasn't.
I always on my way in a free ticket sometimes now.
Sometimes falling into a free ticket is nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dinosaur Jr. is coming to the
Loud and
the V Club. It's coming to the V Club.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go?
I don't know. I do like Dinosaur Jr., but I'm not like a super fan.
Right.
Like I really only aware of their first album and like an album they put out in like 2012. I do like those.
That's a no then.
I don't know. They're kind of lethargic, like vocally, and I don't know. The guitar player is sick though. Jay Mascis. I don't know. Tickets went on sale today, this Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm just not a super fan. But
Yeah.
I do think it is very cool that we got them though. They're a legendary indie rock band. So yeah.
Well, Caleb, this week our topic was best movie soundtracks. Now,
Yes.
I'm going to preface it with something, folks. I have been absolutely busy as I possibly can be over the last 2 weeks with getting ready for this Taylor Swift concert with my wife, who is making costumes and outfits for me and her both, and I unfortunately have had to help with that. Yes,
Well, you're in
she's
luck.
she's sitting here with me. So, and Nancy, say hi.
Hello.
She's sitting here with me while we're doing the episode, bejeweling a hat that I'm going to be wearing. So, pictures will be posted online. So I haven't had a lot of time to research a lot of things. So for most of the things for me was the albums, soundtracks that immediately come to my mind when I hear movie soundtracks. And just the ones that I know for sure that if you put it on in the car, I'd be like, yeah, it's a good soundtrack. It's a good soundtrack. So, Caleb,
You're in luck. Because I've given all my time and dedication of blood, sweat, and tears to this very topic.
I am so happy because you probably going to be taking the lead.
And you're also in luck. Are we about to jump in?
Oh, yeah, we're about to jump in.
You're
We're
also
about to
in
jump
luck.
in headlong.
You're also in luck. Because there's a town about half a mile that way. My first soundtrack is Dumb and Dumber.
I knew that's probably what it was going to be.
That was a Dumb and Dumber line.
I got it.
That I just said. Did you put Dumb and Dumber on your list, Josh?
No, but I thought about it.
Wow, what a great soundtrack. This is one of the only soundtracks where I'm looking at the artist, and I'm not necessarily fans of any of these artists, but I think as a collective whole, these songs really work well. There's so many songs in this movie. Obviously, the song "Too Much of a Good Thing" by the Suns plays like a few times in the movie. It's great, and to me, one of the greatest like dream sequence scenes. You know, the scene where Lloyd has the dream sequence while he's driving. The song "The Rain, the Park, and Other Things" by the Cowsills. I really like cool 60s psychedelic song. I hear that song every time I hear it. I just think about that scene, and it's just one of my favorite scenes from a comedy. Crash Test Dummies have a couple songs. Obviously, plays in the scene after Lloyd and Harry get into the fight, and Lloyd's like, "I'm sorry, I forgot that you never make a mistake." And there's just some really cool songs that I just don't know, like the Gigolo Ants, "Where I Found My Heaven." I don't know who that is.
I don't know
but
either.
that song's great.
Isn't the Pumpkinhead song on that?
The Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead, which
Yes.
is originally by XTC, but the Crash Test Dummies cover it.
I remember when we used to play shows, Nathan would play that song constantly.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Did
that?
you play the Crash Test Dummies
Yeah,
version? It's shorter than the XTC's version.
Yeah.
They cut out a verse.
But we did. We
And you know,
rocked that
you
song
got a classic
lot.
like a "Oh Pretty Woman" by Roy Orbison that plays whenever they're getting like the manicures and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
And if there's one artist on here that I really got into, and I'm not even sure if it's because of this movie, but Todd Rundgren, who I really like, has a song called "Can We Still Be Friends" that plays at the very end of the movie. And I just I don't know. It's a great collection of songs for a movie that is utterly absurd and ridiculous. The soundtrack just goes. It goes hard.
Yeah.
I might would buy that on vinyl. I've seen it on vinyl before, but I just never bought it. So that's my first one. Dumb Dumber.
Well, I'm probably going to go immediately to the one that you're probably going to have on your list. And if you don't
Maybe.
have it on your list, I'm legitimately going to be shocked.
Maybe. Let's see.
It's "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
I don't have it.
Really?
No.
Really?
Never got into it.
Oh, man.
I'm acknowledging that. I'll not acknowledge that it's great for the movie, but I never
Dude.
got into actually listening to those songs.
Do you remember, though, when not only the movie, but the soundtrack came out, it was like engulfed like pop culture
was huge.
for a while.
It sold. It was like the number one like selling album for weeks.
And
for
you
months.
couldn't find it around either.
Yeah.
Like it took a while to find that record.
Well, the
when
song
it came out.
"Man of Constant Sorrow" was like a huge hit.
Did it not win a Grammy? didn't
Surely
it?
it did. Surely it did.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but bluegrass, country driven has Alison Krauss, Union Station, Ralph Stanley's on it. List goes on and on of people that are on that soundtrack. And the thing of it is, too, about the movie is that the movie utilizes those songs very, very well. So, yeah. Oh, Brother, Art Thou. Check that album out and check that movie
There's
out.
another Coen Brothers movie I thought about putting on here that I like the soundtrack better, which is Inside Llewyn Davis. I didn't put it on here.
Yeah.
Because I still wasn't as knowledgeable as I'd like to be on that kind of like folk music, but I like that collection of songs. That's more of my
Yeah.
kind of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, no doubt. Oh
Fun-
Brother,
fun
Oh Brother,
fact-
Where Art Thou soundtrack is great.
Fun fact: I did own "Oh Brother Where Art Thou" on CD.
CD.
I think,
cassette.
and if I'm not mistaken, Nancy, you own it on cassette, don't you? Yeah, she bought it at
Cassette,
an antique store on cassette.
cool.
So we do for 50 cents. So we
Cool.
do actually own the record still,
Yeah,
and it was still sealed.
sealed. But no,
So you can get that now on eBay for 75 cents. So she got a deal.
really?
I don't know.
Is that cheap? I doubt it.
Well,
It's-
as you talk about your next one,
I don't want
I'm going to find out.
I don't want to do that because I want your full attention.
Go
whenever
ahead, I'm
talking
listening.
I think it was like $10 because we looked it up.
about- Okay,
Okay, well, they're fine. You're right. You're right.
there you go.
I don't know if she's right.
You want me to get into my next one?
Sure, go right ahead.
My next one is Adventureland. Coming
Okay.
of age 80s comedy. This is a very influential soundtrack for me. Very underrated and overlooked movie, I think. But the soundtrack got me like specifically into some artists. It has a couple the Replacements songs. It starts, if I'm not mistaken, the movie starts with "Bastards of Young" by the Replacements, and towards the end, when it's reaching like its third act climax, it plays "Unsatisfied" by the Replacements. That's the song that really, I was like, I have to get into this band. This has to be a band that's part of my life because I love this song.
Okay.
But other than that, it has some Velvet Underground, David Bowie's "Modern Love," which I every time I hear that, I'm like, it's such a great song. Obviously, "Don't Dream It's Over" by Crowded House. The hey now, don't dream it's over.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it has like some great songs like that. The Outfield, "Your Love," which is notoriously covered by Meet Me in the Matinee,
That's
our
true.
former band.
That's true. That's true.
The Cure's "Just
we
Like
covered,
Heaven."
We covered the crap out of
It
it.
even plays Rush's "Limelight."
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, I believe during the ending credits, it plays an NXS song called "Don't Change," which is the first time I ever heard it was in this movie, and it is one of the greatest songs ever. I still haven't necessarily got into NXS's like discography, but that song is incredible. It's one of the best songs ever. So Adventureland, check it out. Good movie, maybe even better soundtrack.
Yep. Okay. My number 2 is Purple Rain, of course. Of course, Purple Rain is going to be on here. I mean, it's probably, song for song, not only a great album, but it might arguably be the best movie soundtrack of all time. Hate to say it, but there's not again, when we get to that albums that don't have a skip, this will be one of those records that's on there. Purple Rain, Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry, Take Me With You. It literally song for song, Computer Blue. So yeah,
It plays all the songs.
and it plays all the songs in the movie other than I think one. I think there's one song that's not in the movie. Yeah, I believe. Could be wrong. Maybe.
Okay.
Yep.
I still haven't watched the movie.
You haven't watched Purple Rain still?
No,
Well,
no.
I have it. You can borrow it.
Yeah, it's got mixed reviews, Josh. The movie does.
You're not watching it for the story. You're watching it for the performances.
Yeah, but I don't love that album though.
well, you
I
should.
I know.
You should.
My brain just hasn't flicked yet for the Prince flick. So yeah.
That's okay. That's
Maybe
okay.
one day.
One day when you're old and gray and
Yeah.
Well, you're already
I'm
gray.
A little gray already.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm getting there. So I got this nice big gray patch in the back of my head. Moving on.
Okay, my next one should be an obvious one. Is Almost Famous.
Yeah.
Uh.
I didn't put it on my list because I knew it would be on your list. So
Yeah, great collection of songs. And I only have like a handful of songs here, but that doesn't even like begin to like cover what all has. America by Simon and Garfunkel. It was one of the first Simon and Garfunkel songs I ever heard. The Stooges' Search and Destroy plays during a really cool scene with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Paranoid, Black Sabbath, Roundabout by Yes. Obviously, some of the original songs in the movie, like Fever Dog by the fictional band, band Stillwater. I believe that was written by the director and the Wilsons? They're in Heart, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you talking about the Wilson sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe they wrote
Heart.
They wrote some of the original songs in the movie, and "Reelin' in the Years" by Steely Dan, and one of my favorite scenes. A couple of my favorite scenes: the Tiny Dancer scene,
Of
Elton
course,
John, and there's
of
another
course.
Elton John banger, "Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters,"
Yep.
which is an underrated Elton John song. The song got me. This album, the movie got me into an era of Beach Boys I wasn't necessarily aware of before, and that's the Surf's Up era, because the song Feel Flows plays at one point in the movie, and it also plays in the end credits. And that song just, I don't know, like I register that movie in my head as like a sad movie. So every time I hear Feel Flows, I'm like, oh God, I'm so sad. But I love that song, and it got me into that. And obviously Sherry Amore by Stevie Wonder plays during a pretty critical overdose scene. So it's just a great soundtrack. The movie's about music, and it has great music in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everyone agrees with me.
Absolutely. Nancy,
Everyone
do you
knows.
agree?
Everyone knows.
Nancy's never seen
Nancy has
Almost
seen
Famous.
Almost Famous. She knows.
She's not seen Almost Famous.
God, Nancy. Oh, God.
Well, speaking of movies that Nancy's never seen,
Uh-oh.
my next one is a little movie that is most of the music on it is by a band called the Bee Gees. And that's
Uh-oh.
Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night
Now, a lot of
Fever.
this is also one of those albums where somebody could possibly say that it's probably the greatest movie soundtrack of all time, because it transcended
Now,
movie soundtracks.
Now, what's some songs on here?
Staying Alive,
Never heard it.
How Deep Is Your Love,
Never.
More Than a Woman, Night Fever, like 4 iconic
Man,
Bee Gees songs.
How Deep
on
Is
one
Your
album.
Love is straight up just one of the greatest songs ever written.
Agreed.
I hear that every time that song pops up in my shuffle, I'm like, I'm listening to this.
Dude, honestly, I love all 4 of those songs.
I don't know the Bee Gees as well as I should.
Yeah, I agree.
I really love
I agree.
How to Mend the Broken Heart. That's not on there, is it?
No, don't think
I
so.
love that song.
No. But I mean, again, 4 classic Bee Gees songs, and
Yeah.
you can't. Here's how you know a song to a movie is really, really good. When you hear the song and you think of the scene in the movie, and that's the first thing that comes to your
Yeah.
mind, you think Staying Alive. You think of seeing John Travolta's
Yeah.
feet walking down the street carrying a paint can.
Yeah. It's like Tiny Dancer. It's hard to think about Tiny Dancer without thinking of the bus
Without
scene
thinking of
in
the bus
Almost
scene.
Famous.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So that to me, that alone is
Yeah.
enough to make it one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. No question.
I've never seen Saturday Night Fever.
Really?
No.
Well, that's another one we'll watch.
Josh just point out the
The
deep,
oldies
deep
but goodies.
movies. Yeah. Okay, my next one is definitely like a maybe a niche one. Not really though. It's a Good Will Hunting, because it's just chock full of Elliott Smith songs. That's really
It's a personal preference too.
It's got all Elliott Smith. It's got No Name Number 3 by Elliott Smith, Say Yes by Elliott Smith, Between the Bars. It's also got How to Mend a Broken Heart by Al Green's version, not the Bee Gees version. It's got Angelus, and it's got the song specifically written for Good Will Hunting, and that is Miss Misery by Elliott Smith. It was nominated for an Oscar. It did not win, because you know what movie came out the same year as Good Will Hunting? Titanic.
Oh,
That dang song beat Miss Misery, and we all know Miss Misery is superior. But yeah. I just picked this one because it has arguably my favorite artist of all time, and it's just chock full of his music from the mid to late 90s.
Yep.
So
Yep.
just love it,
too bad Titanic's not on any of our lists, because
Why would it be? I know it's not a great sound.
buddy, my heart will go on. It's a banger in itself.
It's not a bad song, but geez, come on, overplayed much.
Yeah, I
What's-
hate that freaking song.
What's
dude.
next?
I hate that song.
I don't
Can we
hate
just talk? I hate that song.
I don't hate it, but
I hate
it
that
shouldn't
song.
have beat Miss Misery by Elliott Smith. Though.
I hate that song with like so much passion in my soul.
Okay. All right.
Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying. I don't have anything for it.
What's next?
I don't have anything for that movie either. Honestly,
Okay.
I don't like Titanic.
I don't like it either.
I don't like Titanic.
I think as like a technical achievement, it's kind of great.
Sure,
I
it
don't-
looks
I
beautiful,
don't
but the
like-
substance ain't there.
Yeah,
We're not
even-
here.
It's not even a great romance.
We're not here to review
Yeah, but I am,
Titanic,
though.
but we
Even though it's
are.
been so long since
I
I've
know.
watched.
It's only been 35 years.
Might love it next time I watch it. Who knows?
Has it been 35? It's not been 35 years.
97?
It's not been 35 years though. We're
hasn't been-
older than the movie.
Yeah, it hasn't been 30 years, so
25 years. Then.
yeah, sure.
Sure.
24 years.
25 years too long.
What's next?
Help.
I need somebody,
Help.
anybody.
Help.
I need somebody yesterday.
Oh my god. Well, we had something cool going there, and then you screwed that
Yesterday's
up.
on Help, isn't it?
No.
Oh my god, is it not?
No.
God, I feel so stupid.
What
okay.
is on? Yesterday is on Help. I'm sorry.
I know it is. I know. I don't know why you tried to gaslight me. I know that it's on there.
For some reason, I thought yesterday was on A Hard Day's
Okay.
Night. No, that's
why
not
do you,
right.
Why do you like the Help soundtrack? Is it because it's the Beatles?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, technically.
And technically, it is. It's got Help, Night Before. yesterday on it. Shut up, Caleb. Moving on. What's your next?
know it's on
What's
it.
your next soundtrack?
That was sort of like your Good Will Hunting because it's just all Beatles.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly like Help better than I like A Hard Day's Night because there's not as many covers.
I have not
on
watched
it.
a single Beatles movie.
Um,
So far, you're naming a bunch of movies I just haven't seen, Josh. Gosh, way to be accessible to the audience.
Oh, I know. Forgive me.
Wait till I pull out these bangers here.
I know. Get ready.
Well, I'm about to pull out the most accessible out of all mine.
I bet I know what it's going to be.
So instead of just doing like a movie, I'm doing all three, and that's all three Guardians of the
Inside Out.
It's all three Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
First duplicate.
Okay, so
I have Guardians 1 and 2. I haven't seen 3.
You know which one of these is my least favorite soundtrack?
One.
I know that's a lot of people's favorite, and it does have some great songs. Like I love that it starts with "I'm Not in Love" by 10cc. I think it's a great song to set the tone because the movie starts sad. And that's a great song to start it with, and I love that. Obviously, "Moon Age Daydream" is one of my favorite David Bowie songs. And there's just something about "Ain't No Mountain High Enough" that just makes me emotional when I hear it, and that's no exception when they play it here at the end of this movie. But I think the second one really outdoes it.
Yeah.
I love the inclusion of Brandy. Brandy becomes like a character in the movie. The song does.
Well, I think they use the chain very, very well at the beginning of the movie too.
They use everything like
It's a movie that shouldn't.
Mr. Blue Sky. I mean, yeah.
It's a movie that shouldn't. That song should not work in a comedy setting like that. But it's like this works pretty good.
Intense. And I love how they use "Southern Nights" by Glenn Campbell. It's during the scene where Rocket's just like obliterating the Ravengers out in the woods with like that button. The inclusion of Father and Son by Cat Stevens just kills me. Yeah. Like I was talking about this a few weeks ago, how they used it in the Ted Lasso finale. I was like, oh no, not this song. But honestly, the newest one, Guardians 3, caters more towards my what I like. It starts with the acoustic version of "Creep" by Radiohead, which is better than the regular version of Radiohead. It just feels more personal. Doesn't say the F word in it, but it just feels more personal, and especially with this one being like rocket centric, it really like makes sense for that character.
Sure.
"Crazy on You" by Heart, a song called "In the Meantime" by Space Hog, which I'd never heard until this movie. That song has one of the greatest bass lines in it. Like I'll just be at work like hours through the day just thinking about that bass line all day. And obviously the "Flaming Lips," "Do You Realize" is great, and it ends with the Replacement song, and another inclusion of the Replacements, but this song is "I Will Dare." Just three great soundtracks that really help elevate the already great movies. So.
Yeah, 3 good mixtapes.
Truly, none of them are bad. Like I dislike the first one the most, but that would be a lot of people's favorites. So yeah.
So my next soundtrack is probably another movie that you haven't seen. The Crow.
I've seen The Crow.
You've seen The Crow. Okay. This is one of those soundtracks that I think perfectly complements the flow and overall theme and cinematography of movie.
Yeah.
As dark and gothic as The Crow is, the soundtrack just elevates that. It's got my favorite Cure song on it. I love Burn. I think that song is fan-freaking-tastic, and I would never skip it if it comes on.
It's got a... it's got a shoegaze song in it. I just can't remember the name, but I have it on like one of my shoegaze playlists.
Well, not to mention the fact that the album had some of like the biggest freaking artists of that time on there too. It had Stone Temple Pilots was on there, Rage Against the Machine, Nine Inch Nails, The Cure. I mean,
it's a popular soundtrack.
It is a very popular soundtrack, very very much so, and I love that movie as well. If you've never seen The Crow, I suggest you at Halloween take you 2 hours and watch that because it's very very good. Don't watch the sequels though. Don't watch any of the sequels.
Watch Edward Furlong.
2 is okay. 2's okay. 3 and 4 are just
not the same.
Not good. Not good at all.
My next one is Magnolia.
Okay.
It's not that it's loaded with songs. I literally just have 5 songs listed here. It's the way that they use them. Specifically Amy Mann's songs. They use her voice frequently. It starts with a cover of the song One. One is the loneliest number. It also has a couple of really cool Supertramp songs worked into the mix. Goodbye Stranger and the Logical Song. And Amy Mann's song Wise Up is used beautifully in a scene where characters are reaching like an emotional breaking point, and it's almost like the characters are singing the song. It's almost like a fourth wall break to some extent because they're all singing the song along with it, and it's incredible. And it ends with the Oscar-nominated "Save Me" also by Amy Mann. Small amount of songs, but they're utilized extremely well in a 3-hour movie.
My last movie actually is a movie that you're going to be like, what, and that is Requiem for a Dream. Let me tell you something about this soundtrack, folks.
The soundtrack or the score?
That
score.
I'm not serious.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na,
Okay, see, you're getting into it.
That song gives me a panic attack when I hear it.
You're getting into it, but that was a complete joke. But
hey, the score
but if you
is.
want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
Now the score is great for Requiem for a Dream. But I would never go back and re-listen to it.
Never.
I'm like, never.
Because you know why? Because when you hear that score, you think about that movie and how horrible that movie is.
Oh yeah,
not horrible. It's a great movie, but it's a great movie. But whew,
you don't want to ruin your day.
You don't want to ruin your day. You don't want to be like Caleb and have to take a pill after you watch that movie or before you watch.
I'm taking a pill because I watched Requiem for a Dream so many times in my early 20s.
Buddy, messes with the chemical compound of your brain.
It just kind of ruins your life.
My final one is Forrest Gump.
Okay, I thought about putting it, but
I mean, the movie spans what?
20 years?
20, 30, 40 years?
If it's 40,
roughly?
If it's 40 years, that's ridiculous.
About 30.
Because they do not do a good job of aging the character.
I would say it's about 30 then.
It's still ridiculous,
Anyway.
but I'll go with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it should have a good soundtrack. It's got Fortunate Son by CCR on it. Michael Dameron, they're still not that great of a band.
It's got a Freebird.
It's got Freebird on it.
I love the Freebird scene.
Elvis.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
it's got a lot of
good stuff on it.
Yeah, it's loaded. You know?
Yeah, it's a loaded soundtrack.
It's a loaded soundtrack.
Loaded.
My next one.
Sorry, Michael.
My next one is Donnie Darko.
Okay. That's it for me, by the way. I'm done.
Okay. I got a few more.
And you've got a few more.
And some of these you might be able to chime in on.
Sure.
Donnie Darko's pretty influential soundtrack for me to some extent when it comes to Tears for Fears specifically. Because I'd never heard Head Over Heels. And I was addicted to that song after watching Tears for Fears. What are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
You getting to the beats over here?
What are you chewing?
But yeah, I just think the music is used amazingly, especially with that first opening with The Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen. But again, the Head Over Heels by Tears for Fears, that got me. I was aware of Tears for Fears, but that song got me into Tears for Fears. I never looked back.
They're like one of your favorite bands now. So.
Well, I love the first two albums a lot.
Okay,
I'll say that.
Okay.
Notorious by Duran Duran, Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division, Love Under the Milky Way by The Church. And obviously it ends with a Mad World, but Gary Jules version, but it's written by Tears for Fears. And that's probably the most remembered song is the Mad World, because it's just so much more depressing. It's so much more depressing than the Tears for Fears version.
Oh, it's very depressing.
And the movie's depressing, so.
You know what's funny is I remember hearing that song first. For a Gears of War trailer. Can you believe that?
Really?
Yeah.
That version?
That was the first time. Yeah, I believe that is the version that's in the trailer. And I just remember hearing it and I was like, oh my God, that's the saddest freaking song I've ever heard. Oh my God, there's a rock monster. So yeah. Anyway.
All right. Next, I have
great song.
Maybe one you'll know fairly well, and that's The Wedding Singer.
Oh God,
is great.
How did I
don't, dude. I almost forgot it too.
How did I not from?
I put it here at the end. Yeah, dude, The Wedding Singer is stacked.
It is
so stacked. They have like 2 soundtracks for it.
Do they?
Yeah, dude. There's 2.
Wow.
There's Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Wow.
Stacked. You got 99 Love Balloons.
Yeah.
You have a couple of the Adam Sandler bangers like Grow Old With You and Somebody Kill Me.
Yep.
He was listening to a lot of Cure before writing that one. White Wedding by Billy Idol. Boys Don't Cry by The Cure.
Yeah.
Hold Me Now by the Thompson Twins, which is still just one of my favorite songs. Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic by The Police. Every Day I Write the Book by Elvis Costello. Love My Way by the Psychedelic Furs, which is also really big on Vice City. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Holiday by Madonna. You Make My Dreams. Hall & Oates. Blue Monday. New World Order.
My God.
Some B-52s. Flock of Seagulls. You have the President of the United States doing a cover of Video Killed the Radio Star at the end, and How Soon Is Now by the Smiths. This doesn't even cover. There's way more than this.
What's the song?
These are a lot of my favorites.
Oh God, what is the song that? It's right there too. The song that the one guy sings when Adam Sandler's character runs off. Oh, what is the song?
Do you really want to?
Yes, Culture Club.
Me? Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah,
song.
it is great.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
I just think that scene is so funny.
Yeah, and obviously whenever he's singing "Holiday" by Madonna, he's going through like an emotional. He's like
Holiday,
And you got the it's
You are the
ladies' night sung by John Lovitz.
You
It's
are
just
the
great.
worst. You are the worst wedding singer on the planet, sir. One
love-
more outburst like that,
I
and I
love
will strangle you with my
Steve
microphone
Buscemi's
wire.
role in the first part of the movie.
Yeah.
where he gets up there and he's like, "See, Dad, it's like I can play guitar too." But you didn't know that, did you, Dad?
We literally could do an episode on Adam Sandler movies, and I
And
think we
Steve-
might put that
then
in
Steve
the
Buscemi
list.
shows up at the end to sing the
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
know that I don't have that on here. Oh my God, Caleb, what are you
Dude,
doing?
what are you doing?
I love that song.
True.
Who sings that? That's
Robbie and
the
Julia.
gosh, it's called True.
Yeah.
Spandau Ballet.
Yeah.
Yeah, great song.
Great.
Next,
Great
I have
record.
one. I don't know why you didn't put this on here. Maybe because I thought about it, and I'll put it on here because we just talked about it, and that was Sing Street.
I thought about it, but again, we just talked about it.
You know,
so
the
Yeah,
original
Sing Street's
songs.
so
The original
good.
songs are great in it, like Drive It Like You Stole It and Up. But it's got some great songs. It's got Rio from Duran Duran, Stepping Out, Joe Jackson, Gold by the Spandau Ballet, and Maneater by Hall & Oates. That's just a few. Man, it has a lot.
and then but the original songs on it are.
If you want to hear us talk more about that one, we talked about that in the musical
Yep.
episode.
Yep.
It was in the section of not quite a musical,
Musical,
but
but
we're going to
got
talk
there.
about it because it has a lot of music in it.
Bub, is Walk Hard on your list?
It's not because we also talked about that on that episode.
But
too.
you know what? We're gonna take a moment and just
the
mention
Walk Hard
it.
soundtrack's great.
Walk Hard soundtrack is great.
All-
Again,
like
the
all-
other original songs on
essentially
that
all
is-
original music. You know, he covers like a David
Yep.
Bowie song,
Yep.
but yeah,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, listen to
Great.
that one. It's
Great.
one of my favorite comedies. But the
Beautiful-
soundtrack,
beautiful ride.
The
It's just a
soundtrack
beautiful
is
song.
borderline too good. The soundtrack is almost.
I agree. I'll agree with that.
Next, I have Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It usually it just utilizes music through the whole movie. You know,
We're Sex Bomb, and we're
some
here
great
to make
some
you-
great songs that are written specifically for the movie, like Garbage Truck, Threshold, and Ramona.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Beck co-wrote a lot of those. Under My Thumb by the Rolling Stones. You even get a song by Metric that Brie Larson sings in the movie. Does great. It's called Black Sheep. It's a great scene where her band is
How
singing.
dare you say something about Brie Larson?
How
dare you.
A lot of people prefer her version with her vocals than the actual
How
band
dare
version.
you? How
So,
dare you? She's
Great
terrible.
song. I heard Ramona sing by Frank Black from the Pixies. It's just they really utilize the music extremely well
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an Edgar Wright movie. That's what they all kind of do. So that is all of my movie soundtracks when it comes to songs. But
Okay,
I didn't know exactly what we were talking about, so I also included scores.
that's cool.
I
That's cool.
included
We can talk
scores.
about
So
some
I had
scores.
I had these in 5 different sections here.
Okay.
That doesn't mean 5 individual scores though. It means that 3 of these are literally just dedicated to composers.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Because my favorite composer, John Bryan, he doesn't have the most movies here, but out of the movies here, these are some of my favorite scores. That
Okay.
He's done Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Magnolia, I Heart Huckabees, Lady Bird, Paranorman, Punch Drunk Love, and Synecdoche, New York.
Okay. So the movies that you just named, are killer movies. So
Yeah.
so he's got a good.
Great music too, like music that's utilized extremely well to
Yeah.
like capture some of the emotion and especially Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That score goes hard, and Magnolia too. So he's my favorite composer. Those are some of my favorite scores. I don't want to talk about individual tracks, you know.
Yeah.
Next, I got Carter Burwell.
Okay.
He's notorious for doing a lot of Coen Brothers movies or just dark comedies in general. But
Mm-hmm.
he did In Bruges, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, The Banshees of Inisherin,
Mm-hmm.
Where the Wild Things Are, A Serious Man, Burn After Reading, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, Adaptation, Fargo, Barton Fink, Blood Simple. Obviously, a lot of Coen
Yeah.
Brothers. He's really good at capturing like the
Suspense.
dark sounds. He also did the Twilight score. I hate that movie. It's got a good score though, because it's Carter Burwell. I've never seen him do a bad score. He really complements the movies very well.
Yeah.
The last composer I have here when it comes to modern day composers is Michael Giacchino,
Okay.
who's great. I mean, he did the Batman, Jojo Rabbit, Bad Times at the El Royale. This next stint is Pixar movies, which he just annihilated. Inside Out, Up, Coco, Ratatouille, and The Incredibles. Some of the best Pixar scores. He also did both Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes. And he did the score for Doctor Strange, and he didn't do it for the second one. I don't know if you noticed, but the score for the first one is quite a bit better than the score. Because they don't really use Doctor Strange's theme very much in the second one. But in the first one, it's incredible. It's like probably one of the best MCU character themes.
Yeah.
You just don't hear it that often. And it's a great theme. I don't know what they're thinking. They need to pull it together.
We've talked a lot about how Marvel needs to pull it together.
Need to pull it together. I mean, But my next section is just others.
Okay, others.
Other just movies that I think had powerful scores. Some of my favorite scores. And first I had Pan's Labyrinth. Just
Okay.
a beautiful score with almost like lullaby type music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toy Story 1 through 4.
Okay.
Great,
Okay.
probably some of my favorite scores in an anime movie. Obviously, Randy Newman did all of them. This next one could also be included in like just the songs, and that is Drive.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of people talk about the score, but the 3 songs that are utilized in that movie, the 3 or 4 songs, like really fit in with the movie because they're all kind of electronica songs.
Yeah.
But the score is also kind of electronica by Cliff Martinez, who, if I'm not mistaken, also did the score to Game Night, and he used a lot of the same patterns in that, and it's pretty awesome. This is the Justin Hurwitz section, who did La La Land and Babylon, which are just that Babylon score was just
Yeah.
incredible. Some other great ones here: Nocturnal Animals, Social Network, Annihilation. Score chills me to my core.
Yeah.
Last Black Man in San Francisco, Kubo and the Two Strings, great. Another Randy Newman score from Monsters Inc. Just sounds a lot like the Toy Story score, but I love it.
Had to be.
I really love a lot of the score in Avengers Endgame from Alan Silvestri, especially there in that the final third. He really
The
portals and
Yep.
the like the funeral scene. It's got some great music. Alexander Desplat does great for Wes Anderson movies, but particularly Fantastic Mr. Fox and Grand Budapest Hotel. I love those scores.
Yeah, Mr. Fox's scores.
No, you
really
didn't
good.
love this movie, but 8th Grade has a really, really, really fantastic score by Anna Meredith that just is just anxiety. It's just straight up anxiety. My last one here is a couple composers here that have done the 3 Ari Aster movies.
Okay.
And it's not that I love these scores. Hereditary, Midsommar, and Beau is Afraid. It's not that I love the score. Colin Stetson did Hereditary, and Bobby Kralik did Midsommar and Beau is Afraid. But Ari Aster he has to like have it in his contract to where he gets the composer to be like, okay, this final 10 minutes, you got to have a score that just blows everyone away.
Yeah.
Even they might not remember anything else that was played the rest of the movie, but this last 10 minutes, they're going to remember that for the rest of their lives. Hereditary has that like borderline uplifting score during some of the most unsettling stuff ever, and I'll never forget it. Midsommar, almost similar. A score that just like chilled me to my core.
Yeah.
And Beau is Afraid also goes out really hard with a pretty intense long score. He likes to end the movies with these long elaborate scores. So that's all I got. I love my scores. I wish I could talk more in depth about scores, but it's just so difficult. You know, it's hard to like talk about like individual songs and score. But whenever I remember a score from a movie, I remember it for the rest of my life.
Well, for me, if we're going to talk scores, I don't really have a lot of scores because, like we've talked about before on the show, you'd pay way more attention to the scores than I do. But if just off of the top of my head, when you say scores, I think Interstellar.
Yeah,
I
it's a great score.
love the score to Interstellar.
Yeah.
Just the way it was recorded in that cathedral with
It's super unique.
Super unique.
Especially for Hans Zimmer.
I especially think Raiders of the Lost Ark with John Williams.
Yeah.
Star Wars with John.
Wars, yeah.
I mean, Star Wars is some of the most iconic music of all time, and it's all score.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
John Williams. It
It's John
seems like
Williams.
everything he did from like early
E.T.
70s.
He did E.T. right?
I believe he did E.T. and did Jaws. So,
and Jaws. So I mean,
yeah.
it's John Williams.
Yeah.
He's arguably probably the best, the most famous composer of all time. But
Yeah. And he just keeps retiring.
he just keeps retiring, and they talk.
Oh, there's
him
another
back.
Star Wars movie. Okay,
I'll come back
phone
for
it in.
that.
I'll phone it in and get an Oscar nomination.
Pretty much.
Because
Let's rehash the same
Because he
thing
did
that we
He
did.
did the score for the last Rise of the Skywalker got nominated.
Yeah.
It really, I
Yeah.
believe, if I'm not mistaken, it like kicked out some stuff that really deserved to be in there.
Yeah.
And it's just not as good as the past one. So,
Well, Caleb, pick us a topic for next week.
is it my turn to pick?
It's your turn. It's your
boy.
turn.
Oh boy.
Oh
boy.
boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Last time you picked Sonic the Hedgehog, and that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
And then we did this one, and that was pretty okay, I guess.
Pretty good. Here we go. No turning back.
Here we go.
now.
No turning back.
Unless I
oh,
want to.
God.
Unless I want to turn back.
Oh, God. What do we got?
Uh-oh. Ranking Jim Carrey movies.
Well,
That's funny. Dumb and Dumber. We just talked
let's
about
talk
it.
about Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless
And
Mind.
we talked about two top dogs.
We
there.
talked about Sonic the Hedgehog last week, so
So my guess that we're gonna rank at least all the movies we've seen by Jim Carrey. It's
Yeah.
not like a substantial amount. It might reach like a little bit over 20, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe
It doesn't have a lot. I think it should be movies.
Some of them suck.
Let's put it to this: not movies that he made a cameo or anything like that. And he has to be a star in it. Like it has to be starring.
Yeah,
Jim
I'm not
Carrey.
going to count. I don't want to count. Well, I guess you could.
I'm not going to count the Deadpool.
You could
for
count
God's
Kick-Ass
sake.
2, maybe. He's got a role on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not going to count something like he made like a cameo in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made a cameo in like Anchorman 2.
Yeah, we're not going to count.
Not going to count that.
Not going to count that.
Movies where he's at least third on the bill.
Right. I would say that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, some of those movies he was like third on the bill too. So
Yeah, like Burt
because-
Wonderstone or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like third on the
Yeah.
bill. So,
Ooh.
and it's not good.
And it's that's gonna be near
It is
the
not
that's
good.
gonna be near the bottom. That'll be a fun episode. So how do are we gonna rank them from whatever to 1?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
We don't want to give away our top.
Oh God, no. God,
I
no.
know my top.
I know my top 10.
But I
probably
think
right off
the
top of my
top
head.
10 will be interesting though.
Yeah.
Because I think after 2, it really you never know what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
and it's always a toss-up between 1 or 2 movies between you and
Yeah.
I. But who knows? May go back and look at this list. Like, no,
I might need to rewatch
feeling that
one.
movie.
There's one that I might need to rewatch before we get to this. And I'll even say it now
What
because
is
I
it?
just have not watched it much, and it's probably his best reviewed movie. That's The Truman Show. I'll probably need to rewatch that between now and then.
I remember the Truman Show, so that,
'Cause I barely-
that to me was
I've watched it obviously
Yeah.
a few times, but I need to appreciate it more.
sure.
Because I keep seeing these TikToks using like a clipping. I'm like, well, I guess I gotta rewatch it.
Well, so next week we're gonna rank Jim Carrey's
Cool.
movies.
I wasn't even aware that was in there.
Oh yeah, dude.
I know we went over these 1,000 times, but
We
I
have.
forgot that it was in there.
We have. Caleb, where can people find us?
They can find us by typing in Chat From a Hat on Facebook, as well as Instagram, Twitter, and we are on TikTok as well. And if you want to email us, you can email us at chatfromahatcast@gmail.com.
That's right. You can find us anywhere on social media, or you can send us an email and talk to us.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Let us know what kind of topics you want to hear about.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we might take it into consideration. You know,
We might take it into
Or
consideration.
not.
Probably not, but
or not if it sucks. No.
yeah, we're not going to talk about that. And we're making the rules up as we go. We're putting Jim Carrey back, and we're gonna
Put it
we're gonna
back.
do another one. No, well, folks, thank you for listening. Next week we will be talking about the Jim Carrey movies and ranking them from 1 to whatever.
Yeah.
Don't know how
There's
many.
probably gonna be
we'll-
some movies that one of us has seen and the other one hasn't.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
well, we're gonna
That's
have,
all right.
we're gonna have different rankings.
Whatever rankings. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. All right, folks. We will talk to you next week.